What's going on, guys? So today it's just going to be me talking into a microphone like normal, to be honest with you, but I'm not having any gameplay. I might put something in the background, I don't know what. But I'm going to be talking about Rust Conquest. So I'm not here to criticise. If you were aware, Rust Conquest did kick off again. I was meant to be commentating in the future in a couple of weeks. I was going to be doing some commentary for them, but I think it's being delayed now because of a little bit of problems they've been having. Sam, the owner of it, is an awesome guy. He's been in contact with me. He watches my videos, actually, so hopefully he'll see this. And he puts a hell of a lot of time, work. I think he puts some money into it as well. I'm almost certain he does. So definitely not here to criticise. But I've got some ideas, and maybe they can take some of these on board. If not, that's fine. You know, they might not work. I don't know how the logistics of it work. But I'm just going to say what I've got to say about it. And maybe in the future, Rust Conquest could implement some of these ideas. But anyway, let's get into it. Why not? If you don't know what Rust Conquest is, search it around, have a look. If not, just click off the video because you probably won't know what the hell I'm going on about. But yeah, let's get into it. So, first things first, if you didn't know, there's a 30-minute build phase at the start. Basically, when you go resourcing, grab as much stone, whatever you can as possible, and then build a base. But personally, that 30 minutes feels like quite a drag. It's a long time to be watching, sitting there, just, you know, watching people mine nodes and try and put a base together. I think what would be absolutely awesome, I think if each team was given a set amount of stone, a set amount of woods, then we see. I mean, it would be tricky to come up with a set amount because you'd want to give them enough to make a decent base for defending their banner. But if we could think of an exact amount of stone and wood that would be awesome to give each team, I think that would be like amazing, for the reason that like everyone's on the same level playing field. Nobody's got an advantage of how many nodes they manage to find, nothing like that. It's all down to then who can build the best base, the most secure base from the exact same amount of resources. And if they have 10 minutes to build a base with those resources, as opposed to the half an hour of them running around trying to grab stone. So that is my first idea. Don't know how easy it would be to implement, but I just think I think it would be awesome. It would cut down a bit of the boring stuff. Obviously, there were slight problems in the latest edition of Rust Conquest where they didn't have Instacraft. I mean, Instacraft is a must, so that would obviously have to be implemented. And I also feel like more than 2 teams should be in it. I think it's more exciting when there's like 3 or 4 teams. You never know which direction you're going to be hit from. And I think teams are a little bit more aggressive when there's 3 or 4 of them. You know, you could leave one guy back at base just to check out if any raiders come, and then the others can go and scope out the other 2 or 3 teams, see what sort of base they've got going, seeing whether, you know, it's possible to raid them at this point. So I always think it works better when there's more than 2 teams. More than 2 teams is very linear. You know exactly where they're going to come from. You know what sort of base they've got. You know, it's more interesting. And also, if the teams are slightly more spaced out, I think would work. Not massively like when it was first introduced, but a little bit more spacing. So when you're building your base, the opposition can't see you doing it unless one of their team members goes out and just has a little browse so they know which sort of weak points you have in your base. I also think sudden death's a bad idea. I know they don't want to drag it out again, but I feel like it slightly defeats the object. But I think they should just have more ways of getting explosives. Obviously, the Instacraft would help a lot because they'd be able to craft the gunpowder, the C4 and whatever really quickly if they had the resources. And also they could have things like airdrops. Airdrops would be amazing. It'd be a lot of PvP. I think helicopters would work really well as well. It's like taking a risk. Do you sit inside your base and wait out the helicopter, or go out mining some more high quality metal or whatever while the chopper's out, or do you try and take it down, maybe risk a few bolties or whatever you've got to try and get it, and then when it does fall, there'll be all 4 teams or however many teams there are, I'm sure they'd be over there all trying to get the resources because they'd have crazy loot in. It prevents teams from like dragging it out. Some teams feel like they are better suited to PvP as opposed to sort of raiding, so they would prefer to wait it out to sudden death, and they know they could take out the opposition that way. And it also stops roof camping. When you've got 1 life, you're automatically going to be more defensive, especially when there's £1,000 on the line, or $1,000, sorry. So people are going to be camping more. That happened in the Sir Winter and who was it, FYL? Yeah, that game, they sort of, you know, fair dues to them. There's quite a bit of money on the line there. They don't want to just run out, guns are blazing, and die and then be out of the tournament and out of a chance of winning $1,000. So if there was no sudden death, this would prevent that. Again, you just got to try and protect your banner by any means necessary. And if you've got a set amount of stone and wood, you can only do so much to defend your base. So that is my idea. Let me know what you think. You might think they're awful, they might be impossible to implement, but just a few ideas that could potentially be taken slightly and changed so they could be put together slightly better, make it work for Rust Conquest. Thank you very much for listening if you did, and I'll see you for some more Rust Solo Survival and maybe some collabs very, very soon.